Connecting to the cloud. Here we go. Fantastic. So we are recording. So welcome. It's great to see you. It's actually a sunny Thursday here in New York, which is lovely. I'm gonna make a sweet potato soup today, and it's like spicy pumpkin coconut thing. I'm jazzed about it. Virtual glitter. So today and every other week since the pandemic has struck, when we are not able to have mixers in person, we've been gathering in these fun sessions for an hour or so every other Thursday to talk about voiceover with usually our friend and CEO and lover of Journey, David. But David is out today. I actually don't even know why. I didn't ask. I was like, okay, we'll miss you, David. But there's so many great people at Edge that I get to hang out with. And I was telling my people before the session that like this is something I really look forward to and is one of my favorite parts of doing voiceover stuff. I'm just having coffee right now, but soon enough, you know, we'll do that.
Almost 2.
So today, so you will be using the chat. I love it when you guys say hello, Brony. You can drop in the chat where you're from. If you're on desktop, obviously that's better. I like to have things in gallery mode because I like to see you all, but you are welcome to use the speaker mode. You are also welcome to, pin someone that you like. That's me probably, but just kidding. So welcome. Yeah, Paul from Connecticut. He didn't need to be here. He seemed a little wistful. Yeah, David felt that, he was like, wow, my feelings. Hello from upstate. Oh my gosh, Marla, that's amazing. We got Ohio, we got Atlanta. Fantastic. Okay, so the way this day is gonna go, without David, it's like the Wild West. It's not really, there's just different folks. I'm gonna introduce you to 2 amazing folks here at Edge Studio. And when you have questions for either or both of them, you will just drop them in the chat. I will try to get to everyone. If I don't get to you, it's not that I don't love you. It's just, that's how it goes. If you feel like I never get to you and you're like, I come to these things and Siobhan never calls on me, send a DM to Twitter or Facebook, because that's me. I'm the voice, the digital, the typeface voice. Okay, so that's how we'll do that. And this is being recorded, so we'll have all of the answers. We'll have this on YouTube in a couple of days when I post it. And you're muted, not because, again, I don't love you and your voice. It's just easier to manage the chaos. And we've all been to some chaotic sessions with David Goldberg. Am I right? He's going to kill me for saying that. He's going to kill me. Okay, cool. When the cat's away. Yeah. So first I want to introduce you to someone that you may not have seen the face of yet, but is such a wonderful part of our team and a friend of mine, Jonathan Anderson. What's up, Jonathan?
Hey everybody. So my name is Jonathan Anderson. I'm the Director of Education here at Edge Studio. Thank you for having me, Siobhan. I'm glad to be David's stand-in for the day. My background, like one of the reasons why I came to Ed Studio, I was a theater kid from a million years ago, and I got into education. I was actually running a museum's education department in New York City when Andrew and David contacted me to run the Ed Studio education department. So my background is in like education administration. So if you have any questions about like how the program runs, classes we got coming up, we just dropped a fancy new website and it's real different. If someone has questions about like how the website works, how the feedback form works, I'm here for you guys. Or weird 19th century New York City history action, I got you. Like that's my specialty. So that's why I'm here. If you have questions about the new website, I can help. I'd be happy to show everyone around. And like Siobhan was saying, she is the voice of our social media. If you write into the Training at Edge Studio account, or if you fill out a form on the website, it's probably me responding to you too. So you may have heard from me at some point, you just don't know it. But anyway, that's why I'm here.
So if you have any confusing experiences with the website or need to know things, we've just deemed Jonathan a warden of those questions, and he's here to answer and talk about all things education. Sometimes people have more education specific questions, and I'm always like, I'm figuring that out, but now I actually have Jonathan here with us. Additionally, our actual VO guest star today is my friend, and I say that because, friendships are wild this year. We're like, they're real friends. Have we met in person? No, but that's okay. My friend and a fabulous voiceover coach whose class tonight is already sold out, is Jen Sims. Hey, Jen.
Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I'm here in sunny Los Angeles. It's delightful to see all of these people from everywhere. Great to be here.
Great to be here. So yeah, so all things VO professional biz questions will go towards Jen. And I just want to start off, Jen, if you can just give us a little primer on, we know we've got you in LA, but tell us a little bit about what you do out there.
Well, what I'm doing out here in Los Angeles, I'm a professional full-time actor. I have an advertising agency background. I was an agency producer. I still do some projects, not as much. Mostly it's just all acting for me. Voice actor primarily, but I'm also an on-camera commercial actor. And what happened was I graduated from an acting conservatory. I'm from Santa Barbara, came to LA to make my acting dreams come true, and then somehow segued into advertising. And through working with other voice actors, casting them, I'm like, I might be on the wrong side of the glass here. And so I decided to sort of dovetail these two things together. So now I get to really nerd out on advertising because I love it, and act as well. And so that's how I spend my days here in Los Angeles.
Fabulous. So this is great. So I'm going to get right into it because we've got a business mentoring question from my friend Alexis, who is asking, I'm a freelance writer and I'm also coaching with Edge for my first demo. I'd like to set up one LLC for both concepts, but have separate websites for marketing. Jen, do you feel like you could sort of talk about that, if that makes sense, or, you know?
In terms of like having two websites, one for writing, one for voice acting?
I think that sounds right, but can the LLC be for both concepts?
You know what, that is not my area of expertise, I'm sorry to say. I'm really not sure about that. My corp is just because for acting. So I think check with your accountant about that one, I'm sorry.
I think what's great here is that we have a community. And so Charles is saying, is kind of covering this and saying, I'm not an attorney, but I think one LLC should be okay because you are selling two products. I do believe, and I've said this to a lot of folks, especially at stage or film actors who get into voiceover, I think it's okay for a little while to have like a voiceover section on your website. But as it does get big, then you have to just develop, like you just got to get out of there because it gets cluttered and ugly and you need to have two different sites. And I think Jen can probably.
I would absolutely agree. If your business is acting, I'm perfectly cool with seeing a website that's like voice acting, you know, here's maybe your like if that's your business. But if you're also a massage therapist or a different business, two websites, it just gets too confusing and it gets a little like, I don't know who this person is, right?
Yes. Okay. I'm throwing this to Jonathan. Does the Black Friday sale apply to individual coaching sessions or just the program? And what is the Black Friday sale?
Okay, so on Monday, we announced our Black Friday sale early this year to celebrate kind of our new website being launched. Right now, the only things that are on sale with the Black Friday sale are the programs, or 1 demo program, 2 demo program, 3 demo programs. So if you want to join the program, perfect time to do so. I think, Siobhan, I sent you the codes. We have coupon codes for each program. They are Thanksgiving themed. Siobhan already told me how she felt about them, and I immediately ignored her feedback. Because I'm, nope, don't want to hear it. So right now you can save $150 on our 1 demo program, $300 on our 2 demo program, and $700 off of our 3 demo program if you are feeling like 3 demos is the things that you need to do for your career. We do not have a Black Friday offer on individual coaching sessions, but we do have that coupon code, Siobhan, that we can give you all just for being here, where you can save $25 off of an individual coaching session. So it's not part of the Black Friday sale, but if you do want to use that coupon code that we have, it'll save you 25 bucks and you can use it on any individual coaching session on our website. Like if you want to talk LLCs, you can get a business consultation with Tom Deere. use that coupon, save a little bit of cash, and then ask Tom all of like the LLC questions because he's the business guy. I don't know any of that stuff. So he's the person that you would want to talk to. I hope that helps.
Okay, yes, I'm bouncing around screens. And we'll keep jumping into these, and I'll give you a batch of links at the end. So feel free to give us more questions for Jonathan of that nature. I'm going to pivot back to Jen. When I do voiceover work for my day job, should I place those on my website, or are those just set aside? Marguerite, I'm not sure what you mean, but it sounds like if you're doing voiceover, that's a voiceover job, right?
Yeah, I'm not really sure if you're asking when you book a gig and then you get that recording, if you want to put that up on your website. Why not? If you want to showcase your work, a lot of people have individual spots, you know, along with their demo reels, like, hey, just book this pet food spot. And yeah, you can put that up on your website.
Yeah.
Does that answer that?
I think so. Marguerite, it was done for work, not necessarily booked as a VO actor. I'm not sure what you mean, because it sounds like they still booked you at work as a VO actor.
So like an internal, like you did, like we work with a lot of companies. Like one thing that I do is I send David out to a corporate company that does like internal e-learning stuff, and he'll coach those folks on how to be better voice actors. So if it's like an internal corporate e-learning thing, maybe if it's good, I would say like look for the audio quality. If the audio quality is good,
yeah,
why not?
Yeah, it's all. Sorry, Jonathan, just to
No,
piggyback on it, it's all relevant.
Talking about, I'm just riffing. You go for it.
It's all relevant experience, right? So even if it's something that you did for your day job, it still counts. You know, it's still relevant to your voice work. So I say go for it.
Heck yes, and you got to get started somehow. So
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Okay. Oh, and thank you, Brony. We like our website too. We spent a lot of time on it. So Nadine is asking, what are some of the classes that should be taken by someone who is, she says, entertainer? I don't know, like Jen, what kind of, do you want to talk? I mean, there's a lot of classes.
A lot of classes.
Jen, you want to talk about your auditions class actually?
Yeah, I am really excited tonight. It's sold out, you guys, so we're going to have to like look toward December. I'll be doing it again in December. But an audition class, I think, is pretty imperative to the working pro, even when you're getting started. As we all know, this is a super saturated business. There's definitely a way in, but you know, the book and actor is somebody who's up-leveled those auditions and they stand out for the right reasons in an audition situation. And so I think it's really important to take things like an audition class. I mean, if you haven't done the basics, that's cool. You can still join an audition class just to sort of get the lay of the land of like where you're going to be going with this. I also am a fan of improv classes, not necessarily because in voiceover they ask you to like improvise the script, but it's just a helpful skill to have. So that's where I'm at.
I would also pitch our home studio classes. I suck at computers. I suck at it. Siobhan tried to show me how to use the Facebooks once, and it was like a disaster. Like it was so bad, and I was like, okay, never mind. But things like the home studio class, Dan Friedman's great. He's our home studio coach. He'll show you like the equipment that you should be thinking about buying. He'll help you think about a budget for creating a home studio, the software you should be thinking about using. Those are like those, I found those classes invaluable when I first started working at Edge. So I would pitch the home studio classes as well.
Definitely, because this is not an area where you just want to DIY it. You know, you just cannot go, I'll just record it on my phone in my bathroom. You know, you can't do that and expect that somebody's just going to forgive that audio quality and go, I don't know, I don't care that there's a dog barking in the background or that sounded super fuzzy or tinny or however that was like not so great. So do not DIY the home studio.
So regarding for folks who are using the feedback forum, John is gone, but he'll probably come back to us, but he was just asking about feedback check-ins, the professional feedback. He said it used to take a matter of hours, but this morning he finally received something the feedback for something he submitted last week. So is this a website glitch? Is this the new norm, or will things tighten up as we get used to the new website format?
Sure. So what I think I know what you're talking about. We used to do professional checkups on the feedback forum where it was like $30 and you could an Edge Studio coach would listen to your recording and get back to you on, like, kind of give you a little bit of feedback. We don't do that anymore. That's not a product that we offer anymore. So if you're talking about someone like you posting to the feedback forum and then getting a response from someone else, that's entirely up to the new users on our feedback forum. I think it's people just kind of getting used to the format. We're already seeing a handful of people that are like super, super active and like really, really talking to each other. And some of it might be like, when you upload a post, if someone wants to reply to your post, they have to hit the reply button versus adding a new post to the thread. So what might happen is people aren't replying directly to your audio. They're just uploading something being like, sounds great, and like not giving it to a particular, like not replying to a particular post. And I think that's what's going on. I think a lot of it is just people are just getting used to a new format. It's a brand new format. It's a brand new forum. So it's different. It's just a different user interface, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's good. I'm checking for, okay, fantastic. So Terry is asking, I just signed up for the one demo program. Oh, John's just come back in the Zoom.
No.
Hilarious. I love that. Okay. What comes next after you sign up for the one demo program?
Cool. On your new Edge Studio profile account, what you're going to do is log into the Edge Studio website, go on your profile, scroll to the bottom of the page, and it will say like it's like my training or my classes or something like that. You'll see Technique 101, which is taught by the absolutely fabulous Noel Romano, whom we all love. And then you'll see the What Now, which I believe is also taught by the absolutely fabulous Noel Romano, whom we all love. Your first step is to log into the Edge Studio website, scroll down to My Training, and you'll see Technique 101. You'll be able to select the next available class date to attend that class. Once you select that class on the Edge Studio website, you'll get another email from us automatically with the link to the webinar, and that's it. Attend the class. Once you've attended the class, reach out to your education advisor, and they'll start setting you up with some private coaching sessions, perhaps with Jen. There's the What Now class. You can also take that class. Don't take it yet. What Now is for when you've completed your first demo and you're looking to see the next steps once you have that demo. How do you start marketing yourself? How do you learn some of the lingo that you're going to need to know when you go in to do an actual record? That kind of stuff. So don't do What Now yet. That's the last thing, the very last thing that you do. First step, assign yourself to a Technique 101 class.
Pivoting around here from Caitlin. I'm going to give this one to Jen. Advice for creating a voiceover reel on your own. Looks like Caitlin's interested in doing commercial and animation. What's the deal?
I wouldn't do it. Again, I just wouldn't DIY it, y'all. It's too competitive. Do you know what I mean? And pros are using, they're doing professional training. They're getting producers to put together a professional reel with music and sound effects and really high quality audio. And I'm sorry, we can tell the difference. Like as a producer, I can tell you straight out of the gate, like whether somebody did this kind of on their own and it's a little hinky, or if it's a pro. So I just, again, not to be discouraging, if you just want to practice for yourself and play around with it because you want to learn a skill set in terms of like, what would I do if I put together my own demo? Great, but I would highly encourage people not to do that and try and market that as a professional demo.
Especially with the animation, we get a lot of do-it-yourself animation demos, and it's bad. We get a lot of like someone essentially trying to be Mel Blanc and doing like a bunch of Looney Tunes voices, like, don't do it. Just don't do it. Nope.
Yeah.
Don't. If you get a session with Jay Snyder, or Kara Edwards, those are our two animation coaches right now. They will both tell you that imitating someone else's character is not animation. Animation is creating a character from scratch, embodying that character and being that character. Imitating someone else is not that important. Like it's not a hugely marketable skill. Like if you look at all the like huge names doing animation right now, they are creating their characters from scratch. They're not imitating other people. So we get a lot of like do-it-yourself demos where people like imitate their favorite Family Guy characters, and like that's like kind of red flags across the board.
Going from there and like voiceover journeys, Jen, do you mind telling us a little bit about how you ended up doing voiceover in general? Just a little bit about your background, what you were doing before this, just to give us some more context for you.
Sure. So I was actually working at a small agency here in Los Angeles. I was the director of broadcast, and I was working with other voice actors.
What's director of broadcast? What does that
Oh,
mean?
sorry. Yes, I was the director of broadcast for this ad agency. So that meant that I oversaw the broadcast department. So producers, editors, in-house, just admin people, like a whole department of people. And our job was to create commercials and promos. So promos are the things that you see at sort of promoting television shows, like for CBS and Fox. And so I was doing that. And part of my job as being the director of broadcast was reaching out to talent agents and casting facilities and saying, hey, I'm working on this spot, this commercial, and I need a voice talent. And then once I would listen to all the voice talent, I'd send out for auditions. I'd get these auditions back. I'd listen to all of them. And then I would make my selects and decide like, okay, out of these 50 people, I think these are my top 10. And then I would present my top 10 to my boss, who was a creative director, and he gets to make that bigger decision, but I get to sort of prime the table. It's like, oh, I really think we should go with so-and-so. You know, I had not the final say, but definitely some sway over who got cast for this. And then once I would cast that person and I'd set up a recording session, going into that recording session, I would be working with the voice talent. And there was that part of me that's like, as an actor, I'm like, I kind of want to do this too. So while I was still working as the director of broadcast, I started taking voiceover classes. And the thing that for me, and I'll just come straight out of the gate and say, if I'm the poster child for anything, it's don't quit your day job. Because even though I had an acting background, an advertising background, it took a minute to get up and running. Like I just really thought like, what? I'm an actor and I know people. But even with that sort of in my column, it was, I tell everybody this, it was a marathon and not a sprint. And I'm here in LA. I have agency relationships. I have talent rep relationships, other producers. And it still wasn't like, okay, you guys, I did my demo. Why aren't you all throwing me a parade and hiring me? And it's because it's super competitive. Hope that helps.
I'll throw you a parade, Jen.
Thank you.
Once we get out of this COVID situation.
As soon as we can all parade together in person.
Yeah. As soon as it's over, the parade's happening. This is great. So Jen, thank you so much for that kind of primer. What do you wish you knew about voiceover when you were starting out?
Such a good question. I wish that I knew that it was really going to take an investment of time and money and not to expect it to happen super quick. I wish that I'd known that you have to do your work first and not expect that everything you audition for, like I was always, and again, I have to admit to all of you here, don't tell anyone, but I was kind of like delusional. I just thought, what? I'll audition a couple of times and I'll book something. And so that's what I wish I'd known, is to just like sort of take the pressure off of myself and say, hey, listen, I'm doing my work, I'm practicing, I'm training, I'm taking all the appropriate steps, and I'm going to audition a bunch, most likely before I book something. There are people who book like, oh my gosh, straight out of the gate. It's like, fantastic, that's awesome. But more likely, it's going to be quite a lot of auditioning before you book your first gig.
So important. It's all about spinning the wheels. And I just, yeah, like giving yourself some grace. I'm trying so hard this year to grant myself grace. I'm really bad at it, but just being like, wow, I'm doing the thing. I'm trying my best and I'm spinning the wheels and being a part of this community and talking to people on Twitter. I mean, I think all of that stuff really matters, actually. The whole thing of like what makes you a voice actor is not making, I mean, no, but who's really making millions of dollars in voice, but like that whole other thing. But you know, like it's it's really about, you know, who you are and what you're putting into it, the potluck, what you bring to the potluck.
Exactly. And I will say one thing that was super helpful for me here in Los Angeles was like getting involved in the community, building community, having a tribe. Like we used to call them voiceover workouts. I think they're still out there. They're all on Zoom, but we used to get together in person and literally like run copy for a few hours and sort of critique one another, get feedback from the booth director so that we were like really immersed in the mix. And that was super helpful. And I love what you said, Siobhan, about just like giving yourself the grace. It's like, it's not about the booking. I mean, it's great when you book, but one of my coaches early on said, you know, I pretty much audition for a living. And once in a while, you know, I get the gig. So you just kind of have to treat it like every audition is sort of like a job interview almost. It's like, all right, maybe I don't book this one, but I still want that audition to be so stellar that they'll think about me the next time. And that's something I'll definitely be talking about tonight in Audition 101. It's like, don't always consider that you're just auditioning for this job. You're auditioning for the next one. So you knock their socks off for this particular spot, but the client decided to go another direction or just wasn't quite right. But in that producer or casting agent's mind, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep Jonathan in mind, man. You know, he was great. And so that's, again, like just extending yourself the grace of like, it's hard not to get discouraged, John. Yes, you are great, John. But it is hard not to get discouraged because you think, oh my gosh, I've been working really hard. I've been training and, you know, I'm getting great feedback. Why can't I just book everything I audition for? There's a ton of reasons. I can go into that forever. There's so much we can't control as actors. You just have to keep showing up and doing your work. And, you know, I forget who said it, might have been some old timey actress. It's like, if you just keep at it, eventually you'll get there. There's just no way you wouldn't. So
I'm going to go to Jonathan. Who should I contact about a credit received through one of the audition contests? And how do I use it?
You can contact me. Reach out to training@edgestudio.com. Let me know that I'm assuming you won like one of the one audition contests that we do monthly. Congratulations. Just send an email saying like, hey, I won this particular place and I want this particular prize. And then I'll put you in touch with one of our fabulous education advisors and they'll provide you with whatever the thing was that you won. So yeah, training@edgestudio.com. Reach out and we'll get that settled today. Easy peasy.
Ooh, we love to see that settled today. Okay, I'm trying to like switch up how we're asking things. Oh, this is great. Alexis, I love you. You're great. Charles is saying, Jen, how did you get your first VO job?
I worked my connections and that's how I got my first VO job. I mean, I just went all in on committing to putting myself out there. It was uncomfortable. I'm gonna just like straight out of the gate say it, like that is not my natural wheelhouse to like toot toot, you should listen to me. But I did work my connections. I sent my demo to people that I knew in the industry as well as everyone I knew, because you never know who knows somebody else. And I ended up booking honestly, couldn't even tell you what the first one was. I just remember that it was a fellow producer who put me forward for, I think it was a radio ad. Might have been a solar water system. I honestly, it was a lot of years ago, honestly, but that's what I did. And I think I would encourage every actor to, you know, I'm in the union, but you don't have to be in the union. It's like, just reach out, let people know what you're up to, share your demo, say you're available, because you never know, right? You never know.
Jen, I want to echo a question that we had last week that actually Dina asked, which we gave to David. it was just a great question. And I think this group would appreciate hearing it again. And I think hearing your answer as differing from David's. But Dina was asking about if you're looking at a potential client, you know how we do our cold calls, cold emails when we're just like shipping ourselves. If you're looking at some of the materials that they have and you're like, oh, this really needs some help, right? And I would be, I am the solution. I've, you know, like my voice and how do you reach out to that client without sounding like, yo, your videos are very lackluster and that's a problem. You know, how do you reach out to say like, I can help this with my skill and I'm excited about it and feel like you sound good and not weird?
Right. So you're saying like you've seen something like maybe on YouTube or somebody has a presence already and the voice maybe not, I mean, it's not really gelling. I think first be a fan of what you're going after. So if you're looking at somebody's work and just be a fan of that company. Oh my gosh, I saw your commercials on YouTube, or I saw this and I've always, you know, it's so clever. Find something good to say about it. And then present yourself as somebody who could also be a good fit for your brand, for your product, for your corporate culture. And that way you're not insulted, because nobody wants to feel like, oh, did you just insult my taste? You know, because somebody has chosen that voice actor, and you never know if you're talking to the person who said, I chose that voice actor. That's my wife, or that's my cousin. You're like, oops. Sorry, they're delightful. And then you've got nowhere to go. But if you approach it as like, I'm such a fan of your spots, they're so clever, they're so well, or whatever. And then say, by the way, if you ever are looking for additional voice talent, here's my demo. Feel free to reach out. And then maybe a little more information about, like, I have a home studio, I can come to your studio, just like a little value added. And I think people appreciate that and they're not insulted like, how dare you?
Awesome. That was so good. Okay, this is from Brony. Recently, also, I want to say, I think it's Yaya, your lipstick is amazing. I really love it. Yeah, you look amazing. Recently, I have had my practice recording audition critiqued by Edge. Great feedback, but I learned that my recordings have mouth noise. Don't you guys hate the expression mouth noise? I hate it. I just hate it. I hate thinking about it. What do I do with that? How do I eliminate it? Or can it be edited with software? I'm getting frustrated because now I'm aware of it. Yep, nothing like sitting alone, listening to yourself and getting like, stop, Jonathan, stop.
Ew. Yeah, mouth noise, it's a thing, people. It's the real deal. It's totally common, but it's also very aggravating. It kind of goofs up your recording. It will definitely get noticed as a quality issue. Mouth noise usually is about hydration. So I always encourage actors, like, lots of water, lots of just hydrating liquids. My problem is the old tea and coffee. So if I get to recording first thing after all that Nespresso, I am in trouble. So hydration for sure. And then apples. If you're clicky or dry, just a couple of apple slices. You don't have to eat the whole apple, but just to sort of activate your saliva is definitely helpful. If it's in between phrases or words, you can cut them out, but of course that adds time to your editing. So, but they're not uncommon. I mean, it's sort of like breathing. It's like sometimes if you're working on a long piece and you take a breath that just sounds crazy, it's like, you're gonna have to cut that out. Sometimes you're gonna have to cut out some mouth noise, but try to stay hydrated, everybody.
I may also put in a plug for either our vocal health class with Lara Herner, or getting a private coaching session with Pen Chen. If it's like really pervasive and like really, really noticeable, you may want to think about working with Pen. She's a miracle worker. Like, she's incredible. And she's really, really good at helping with like mouth noise. If you have a regionalism, if you have a dialect, if you want to help smooth out your dialect and get a more neutral American accent. If you feel like you've got a slight lisp or something like that, she can help with all of these elements. So if you feel like the mouth noise is something that is like becoming detrimental to your career, I would look into, give us a call. We can talk you through who Pen is, her background, She's a speech pathologist. She actually, I found out recently, Siobhan, did you know that she works with public school kids? Like she's in the NY, she's like a New York City public school teacher who works with kids in the public schools. I actually got to reach out and make sure she's okay right now. But I love Pen Pen. She is a total delight. And you would be amazed at like one session with Pen Pen, what it can do. So that's my plug.
Jonathan, speaking of these plugs, Ruxana joins us from Qatar. Did I say that right? Qatar. I got it. It's Qatar. When will Edge be offering the How to Book English language work in non-English countries again?
We did that back in March. Okay, one of the cool new features of our new website, if you go on our class schedule and you scroll down to the bottom, we have a list of all the classes that we have run in the past, but we're not currently offering. If there's a class that you're like, oh yeah, hit the button that says add me to the wait list. I personally use the information from those wait lists to decide what the upcoming class schedule is going to look like. So I think on our website right now, it's called Breaking into the Global Voiceover Market. That's that class. That's just the new iteration of that class. Find it and click add me to the wait list. And the more names that get added into the wait list, the sooner we will run it again. Keep an eye on all this stuff. Like seriously, I look at that stuff. That's my job. I deal with that every day. So if there's a particular class that you want to see that we haven't run in a long time, that's the best way to let me know. Also, if you want to reach out and suggest something, I'm up to it. Like if there's something that you're like, hey, this is the thing that I am desperate for, and I think it would be a benefit to the Edge Studio community, let me know. And I can work with one of our coaches and see if someone feels like has a specialty in that area, we can run that class. So I'm up for it. I'm up for the suggestions, but that's the best way to do it. We ran that class. That's that class in particular, the one you're talking about, the Global Voiceover Market. We'll probably run it pretty soon, probably the spring.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, great. And we had Simone and Jason last time, and that was a really fun. Oh, they're fun. From Andrew, Jen, what type of things do you think put an audition over the top? Can you give any advice for things to think about when auditioning, or if you have a quick little audition gem to give us?
Yes. The thing that I think about often these days is how do we get into that sweet spot of the commercial trend? You've probably heard it. We talk about it all the time. It's about being conversational. It's about not selling anything, even though it's advertising, right? So it makes no sense. Like, but wait a minute, it's commercial copy. Don't I want to sell these donuts, coffee, whatevers? The thing in advertising these days is, because selling has become like, ew, no, gross, don't sell me anything. What people want are experiences. So I think what helps an actor is to look at this copy and ask themselves, what is the experience that is intended to be delivered here? So if you stop thinking about like, I'm just trying to sell you Starbucks coffee, and start thinking about the experience that the advertiser is sort of presenting, that helps the actor connect to the copy, and the listener will hear it immediately. We can totally tell when an actor is connected to copy and when they're just like, what? I read all the words in a row out loud. Why didn't I book that job? Now you know.
So good. I think I've told a story before when we were working with Johnny Heller on commercials, and we were doing like a Club Med thing. And I was like reading the Club Med ad, and he's like, okay, what are we going to do at Club Med? I was like, have fun. He's like, okay. What else? I was like, relax. He's like, okay. He's like, Siobhan, people are going to get it on at Club Med. You need to get into the experience of Club Med because it is not working. And I was like, so that's a little afternoon humor for y'all, but like it really speaks to exactly what Jen is saying, because I was being like, okay, I'll like read this thing like this. It's like some kind of vacation thing. I don't know. And Johnny's like, whoa, what's the heart? What's the vibe, the actual experience? And it's so nice to use that word to Jen with experience, because it also gives you that personal transportation of like when you're there eating that burger that maybe you don't want to eat because you're a vegan, but we're pretending, we're all acting, aren't we?
Right. Substituting. We're substituting. portobello mushroom for burger. Do what you gotta do. But yeah, I mean, it's so true, right? Like if you just drill down on what's the experience that Club Med is offering, it's like, you know, we can all sort of like smile our way through and go, it's vacation, it's fun and sun and ocean. But come on, just like Johnny told you, it's like, what's really gonna happen at Club Med? And if that's the actor's intention of like, I'm going to Club Med because boom chicka bow wow, all of a sudden, how much more connected and interesting is my read compared to just like, we're going on vacation. It's like, okay, but the up-leveled actor is having an experience and is communicating that experience and their intention. It's like, why would I tell you about why you should go to Club Med? Because it's going to be amazing in ways that wink, you know, what's my intention?
Maybe this is for Jonathan, and actually this is fun. Has Edge Studio considered offering a webinar on social media marketing for VO? You guys want to take a class with me?
Yes.
Siobhan's the perfect person to do it. I'm gonna make a note. Siobhan, I'm gonna put it in my Fox notebook, and we're gonna talk about a class on social media.
Look at that Fox notebook, y'all.
This was okay.
Doors.
Supposed to be the guest book at my wedding, and we lost it and never used it, and now it is my work notebook.
Awesome.
This is what I love about Zoom, you know, we just get these anecdotes that like you don't get in a normal, you know, otherwise you're like that. Oh my God. Also, you guys are hilarious. I'm headed to the Club Med website now. I love you all. You're so funny. Okay. There are so many good questions and I'm scrolling up. There was some, oh yes, Dina. So Dina's asking, Jen, what's your preference on demo copy? Original versus ad copy that has run? Asking for a friend, really.
Yeah, sourcing the copy, that's always a great question, right? I'm a big fan of sort of making sure that the copy isn't something that is so recognizable. It's like, I've been seeing those spots run, and it's like, I know that Jen Sims didn't do those. I know that that's Allison Janney. Like, that's why I could never like put any Kaiser copy on my reel, because it's like, if we know it's a celebrity, you know, I'm a big fan of sort of writing your own stuff if you feel confident in that way, or just taking some copy maybe from air or websites and just changing it a little bit. It's your demo. So as long as you're still in the sort of appropriate ad space, like don't turn it into narration or something that it's not, feel free to reconnoiter stuff a little bit. But you know, if you take something off air, just make sure it's not like currently running and somebody's sick to death of it. It's like, you know, don't do any flow progressive spots. We know that's flow, it's not you. So does that make sense?
It's flow, it's not you. That's our mantra.
Oh, you guys, it's not you.
It's not
You can't be Flo. No, I'm kidding. I love Flo. That's Stephanie. She's fantastic.
Okay, so Daniel, I love this question, Daniel. How important is persistence versus getting a lucky break versus having the right connections?
How important is persistence versus lucky break versus what else?
Right connections.
Right connections. I'm going to say, it all does kind of go together. It really does. I mean, if you don't persist, your right connections most likely are not going to just beat a path to your door. You can have connections, but I don't know a lot of people who are like, yeah, I have connections and they all just call me every morning. It's like they're not really thinking about us, as it turns out. Like I always say that nobody goes to bed at night wondering if like I had a good day, or I wonder if Jennifer had a donut this morning, or if she booked a job. Anybody know? It's like you have to sort of stay on their radar. So I would say it is persistence. It is staying in touch with your network and connections. And interestingly enough, that's where I'd say the lucky break comes from, right? It's like, yeah, you might just like get lucky and somebody just says, oh my gosh, you're the one, I've got to have you for my national campaign. But most likely it's going to be a combination of, you know, what that old saying, like opportunity meeting preparedness. therein is the break. Persistence, tenacity, just sort of stay in the course would be my thought about that.
Alexis and I are in the chat saying we hope you did have a donut because we care.
I'm going to, right? Because why not?
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself to a donut, Jen Sims.
Oh my gosh.
You don't know, maybe I did.
Okay. This is great. I like highlight things and then oh, here we go. Okay, we got the connections. That's a really good question and we thank you, Daniel, for that. What genre of VO would you say is the least competitive?
Sorry. Let that giggle tell you everything. There isn't one. I'm just going to come straight out of the gate. And I think I don't want to be like, moo, won't want, but it's all competitive. If you're going for e-learning, if you're going for corporate narration, there are plenty of choices out there. So I would say, I could tell you what I think the most competitive is, and that's animation. So I always suggest to actors that they start with something like narration or commercial where they can make inroads sort of on their own, whereas animation, I feel like the gatekeepers are a little stronger and there's a lot more people vying for those roles. So there's a brilliant voice actor here. His name is Bob Burgin. You may know him as the voice of Porky Pig. He is like, he's been working for years. He's the voice of Porky Pig, and it's so competitive that even he sometimes is like, just like multiple voices in the background. So not to discourage anyone, there is a road in to everything, but I'd say it's all competitive. So
Jen, what are some ways to, how are folks auditioning if they don't have an agent? What are some starting places for that?
Starting places for auditioning, there are a lot of pay-to-play sites out there. I mean, honestly, everybody, it's a mixed bag. So, you know, that is a place to start, but believe me, it is a pay-to-play situation. So that is an investment. And it's still also pretty competitive. If you're just starting out, in addition to sort of working your network, telling people, you know, offering your services, just sort of I think just reaching out to people, as we were saying before, like, oh, I love your corporate videos, ever looking for additional talent? I mean, I know people who have gotten things off of Twitter, just sort of like scrolling or creating a list of casting directors on Twitter. I know people who have booked things from LinkedIn. So really just sort of like drilling down on all of the content that's out there. Social media. I mean, I knew somebody who got a gig off of Craigslist. I don't know how good a gig it was, but they said they got it on Craigslist. So yeah, you definitely don't need an agent. Particularly if you're not in the union, you can find work just by sort of working your network, social media, pay-to-play sites. But I'm frankly a little, but it's a good place to start if you are willing to pay the money and go through the slog. Yeah.
Jen and Jonathan, are you guys okay to go over at another 5 minutes or so? Because we started a little bit late and is that cool? Okay, because these are great questions. So
Sorry, just to piggyback on that, if any of you out there is working with Suzanne Pineda, she's an education advisor at Edge Studio. She's got a great story about walking into her doctor's office and telling them that she wants to be their on-hold message. She wanted to do the telephony of their office, and they hired her. So something like that. Suzanne is the master of walking into some place and saying, I want to be the voice of your telephone system, and them hiring her. So like, that works.
Hey. Yeah, tell people like, hey, I could do your telephony. I could do your corporate training video. You're onboarding new hires. It's like, why don't we let me do it? It's like, hey, yeah.
And for me, I just told David that if he didn't make me the telephony voice, I would never let him back on and ask me anything ever again. So that's how I got that job. Jonathan, I actually don't know the answer to this question. Do we have sample demos on our website?
Oh, yes, we do. If you go onto the homepage of the website, the very first page, you'll see the blue side and the red side. The blue side is education. Click, I want the edge. Scroll down to the bottom of that first page on the website, and we actually have 12 to 15 sample demos that we've done recently. They're all recent demos. They're all Edge Studio students. They're all demos that we've produced in-house, and there's a variety of examples. There's commercial narration, audiobook, and animation, promos, whatever. Like we kind of chose a smattering of all different people from all around the world, Spanish language demos, that kind of stuff. So it's on the homepage of the education side of the website, but yes, we do.
On the same subject, do you have to be a student to audition for the monthly audition contest, or can anyone audition?
Anyone can audition. You just need to register a new account on our website. If you've not registered a new account on our new website, that's all you need to do, and then you can upload the audition into the monthly audition contest. Free, open for everybody.
Will all the participants still be available on the site after the contest is over, or just the top 3?
I don't know yet because we haven't done it yet. We haven't done the monthly audition contest yet. My understanding is on the new website, we'll see choice, like we'll see the first, second, and third, and then we'll see like the 5 or 6 alternates beyond that. But I don't think we're going to be able to see everyone anymore. My understanding is the website designers underestimated the sheer volume of auditions that we get per month in our monthly audition contest. So I think that's what it's going to be. But check in. The dates are different than they used to be. They're a little bit different than the last website's audition contest. Check in a couple of weeks where we've gotten a first real one under our belt. And that's probably what it's going to look like moving forward.
You were doing so great with like, yes, here's my answer. Here's my answer.
And then I got derailed with something I don't know. Come on, guys.
This is so great. Okay, so now I'm pivoting back over, and we'll go an extra 5 minutes since we didn't bring you guys in until 1:05 because we were we hadn't seen each other and we were like hanging out. We were like pretending we were at a bar for a minute. Okay. Wow, I'm in a space. I really is like David's not here, and I'm like, woo. Okay, so. I love David.
David would have cried over the Club Med conversation, by the way, that he would not have found that funny.
He would have found it funny, but he would have been like messaging me being like, what's happening right now? Don't tell him. No one tell him, okay?
Shush.
Like, it was Siobhan was very well behaved, as always, David. Just tell him that. So I think this is probably for, Jen, this is good for you. What are your recommendations for setting up your home studio? The person is asking what would be the best place to record at home. And the last question I think is the last part of this. They're asking, what was your early experience doing for your home studio when you first started? So how'd you do it?
Okie dokie. Well, I know Dan at Edge, I'll plug him real quick. He's a genius in home studio setups. So what I first did was I ran out with like my hair on fire, like I need a mic and this, and I kind of blew it, honestly. I did not know what I did not know. So I'm like, whatever, I'll just go to Guitar Center and get some stuff. And I think I set up in like the corner of an office in my house and very quickly realized like that doesn't sound good. And then I did, speaking of working my connections, I called an audio engineer I knew. And he straightened me out and he said, do you have a closet anywhere that you can use? I'm like, yeah, I have this walk-in closet. And he's like, why are you in a room? Like, so I set it up in a walk-in closet. I got the audio engineer to listen to some of my samples, and he sort of redirected me in terms of what kind of mic might be better, what kind of audio interface might be better. And believe me, most people in LA, they use their closet. So there's no shame in that game. It's like, I know people are like, but a whisper booth is $5,000. I'm like, what do you need a whisper booth for? Don't you have a closet in there? This place? And it can be small, right? So that would be my recommendation. And also Dan, for sure, at Edge.
We know Dan, we've all talked about, is it a sweet potato pie he's making us? He's going to make us a pie and we're going to do karaoke. Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Pie? I was not aware of this.
Yeah, this is inside jokes from like, I don't know, July, but I'm still. This is my social life. Yeah, and he was like, I can't remember, but we were like all going to his house for karaoke and pies.
Okay.
Which, yep, can't wait.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
Okay. I love all of these. Is there okay, and let me see if I understand this correctly. Is there a specific type of training that allows someone's accent or region to be completely unidentifiable while speaking? I think that's kind of the speech pathology stuff we were talking about, right? If you feel that you have a very strong accent and you're having a hard time neutralizing it, talk to us and we can get a coach who can really help you with the nuances of that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Jen actually had a student from Memphis. He was actually one of my favorite students. I love him. He's amazing. And he's got this really beautiful Memphis accent, and his demo really showcased his Tennessee roots, and it really, really works for him. And he's actually booking some work now. So that's another thing to think about, is your regionalism, your accent isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just makes your marketing a little bit more targeted, a little bit more specific. So something to think about.
Yeah, and I will say, my agent sends me lots of stuff. Well, as a matter of fact, the scripts I'm using tonight are all things I either auditioned for or booked. Well, I auditioned for them, so obviously I booked them all, right, you guys? Just kidding. But there's tons, like the specs are so different on the scripts. The specs used to be like neutral accent, no accent, or, you know, just non-accented English, and now it's like open to accents, Middle Eastern, Latin, and so advertising is really finally waking up to the fact it's like, look, we don't all sound like we're just neutral English speakers. We, you know, and our nuances are awesome. That student from Memphis, he knocked it out of the park. I felt like it really helped him specifically brand. So I love this idea of like, we're not trying to knock everybody into the middle of just this neutral speech, you guys. It's like, bring it on. You know, if you have a really heavy accent and you feel like it's preventing you from booking any work, sure, learn to neutralize that. But otherwise, I mean, I wouldn't be afraid of it. It's great. It's awesome.
Okay, so you are all amazing people. I know that we, you know, want to guess like move on with our lives. A few things, announcement type things to make. Jonathan, do you want to talk a little bit about what's coming up at Edge at this point, and I'll drop in some sweet links.
Yeah, so the big thing right now is it's our Black Friday sale. So Siobhan will drop in our super awesome Thanksgiving themed coupons into the chat box. I don't remember what they are right now. Siobhan and I had a conversation about how she doesn't love the word stuffing, and that's one of the coupons. So you can save $150 off of one demo program, $300 off of a 2-demo program, or $700 off of a 3-demo program. If you are interested, but you're not sure which program's right for you, call us. Give us the call at 212-868-3343, and we'll kind of talk you through it. We're happy to talk you through it with you. Upcoming classes. James Andrews is doing the Science of Speaking Like a Pro in early December. We did that class back in February and it was real popular, so we're bringing it back. Tom Deere is speaking of pay-to-play sites in mid-December. He's doing his Success in Online Casting class. So if you want to learn a little bit more about how the pay-to-play sites work and how you can get seen a little bit more often, that's a good class to take too. As we always do in our Ask Me Anything classes or Zoom phone calls, whatever it is, we have a code that you can save $25 off of an individual coaching session. So if you do want like a session with Pen, or if you want to check out Jen, see what kind of coaching she does, you can use this to save $25 off of a coaching session on our website. And Jen's class, the whole reason why we brought Jen on today was she's got a class tonight and we thought we were going to sell it. The class sold out. It was such a success that it's going to be a class that we run every month. So keep an eye out for Jen's Auditions 101 class. I think it's December 15th.
December 15th?
Yep.
Yes, absolutely.
It's going to be a little bit different every class. Jen and I were talking about using new scripts every time. All the scripts are like what Jen was saying. They're scripts that she's currently auditioning with right now. So they're very current, they're very timely, and you'll get an idea of like what the commercial market and what the narration market's kind of looking for right now, which is cool. If anyone is new, and you are thinking about joining Edge Studio, but you don't know like what demo to do, you don't know what genre to go in, maybe you want to feel us out a little bit, see what like our like educational pedagogy is like. We have another code, a new code for today. You can save a little bit, you can save 10% off of our Investigate Voiceover class. So that's our introductory course. I think Siobhan's got the code. All you do is you put in the code when you check out, pick the class that's right for you, and sign up. It's fun. It's a 3-hour class. It'll give you a chance to read for some of our coaches and give our coaches an opportunity to kind of talk to you and be like, you know, here are the things that I'm hearing in your voice. Here are the areas that I think you may be successful in. Here are the areas that you may want to think about working on. And from there, we can come up with a training path that's really appropriate for where you are and what your goals are.
Oh, sorry, I'm messing up. I'm like doing all the copy paste. The newbie class, I'm gonna drop this in. Here we go. Yo, so James Andrews, the scientist speaking like a pro. He was a special guest with us last month. We were all obsessed with him. He had that beautiful audition thing he was doing. He had this like, he had his photo by the microphone. We closed our eyes and did this breathing thing. Remember it? It was glorious. That's his class. You want to get up in there with him because he is a delight. The code for this IVO for my new friends is IVO5. Everything else is in the chat. I would love for you to drop your social media handles into the chat as well, and just like, you know, tell me, yeah, your Instagram, your Facebook fan page, whatever. Here at Edge, you can find us at just Edge Studio on Twitter. And on Instagram, we are Edge Studio BO on Insta. 2 different things. If you want to save this chat for yourself, because the chat will not transcend onto YouTube, you can just click the little ellipses at the bottom of your chat bar and you can click Save Chat and it will save to your own device. Because, yes, and does the cat have an Insta? That is a really good cat. Is that? Yeah, that's a very good.
That's adorable.
Right.
This is Matt.
We bring you Matt for your viewing pleasure. And thank you all so much. I'm just gonna do a little silent applause to my guest star, to Jen. Thank you for being here, Jen. I just truly appreciate all of you. You are all like really wonderful, incredible human beings. And I don't know, any other announcements or
Daniel's got a cute puppy. I see that puppy.
Oh, puppy.
We've got
if anyone has any questions about any of the elements we talked about today, shoot me an email at training@edgestudio.com. I personally monitor that email account, so just let me know and I'd be happy to forward any more information that I have to y'all's. So I'd be happy to do that.
And with that, I'm trying something a little new today. Thanks you all for being here.
Thanks, everyone. It was great. Great fun. Good to see everybody. Thanks for joining.
Bye. There goes everyone.
Everyone's so great.
I've never seen so many people on like a Zoom chat start leaving because it's like, woof.